Good afternoon. My name is Lauren Lambert. I'm the attorney here at Arrow Legal Solutions. I want to discuss briefly with you unemployment benefits and how they are affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, to get unemployment benefits, you have to show that either your employer fired you without just cause, or you had good cause to leave your employment or to leave your employer. And just cause means the following. If your employer terminated you for something that was within your control, and you have knowledge that that was something that you shouldn't be doing, or knowledge that it was something you should be doing, and because you didn't do it, your actions were adverse to your employer's interests, then your employer has just cause to terminate you. If your employer did not have just cause to terminate you, then you can apply for unemployment benefits. Now, a lot of people think that to prove just cause, an employer has to show that they have gone through some sort of disciplinary process and have warned you. Well, that can be the case, and that has to do with the knowledge or the knowledge you should have regarding whether or not something is adverse to your employment or your employer's interests. Obviously, if you steal something from your employer, then that is adverse to your employer's interest, and that's something that we all know, and that's something that we're all capable of doing. However, if, for instance, you had some absences, and most employers have certain policies regarding absences, and in fact, there are some laws that prevent employers from terminating people for certain types of absences for a certain amount of time. But if your employer has a policy that is more liberal than is required under law, they may have to advise you of those absences, that they're adverse to their interest, and give you warnings before you're terminated. So that's the basic idea of just cause. The other way that you get unemployment benefits is if you leave with good cause. And good cause can mean a number of different things. But let me just give you some examples of what I think would be good cause. And there are case precedent that establishes this. Let's say you work for an employer, and because of the COVID-19 problem that we're going through, the pandemic, they have to reduce your hours and reduce your pay. Well, there's a certain amount of reduction that could occur where the administrative law judge in the system would consider that that is not good cause to leave, especially if you didn't have other options. But if your pay and your hours are reduced to such a significant level that the job that you had is substantially different, or the job circumstances that you had are substantially different from the job that you have now, that may be good cause for leaving. Another example of that would be if you were given a night shift when you had been working for years in the day shift, and you had health problems and other concerns that made the night shift impossible for you to do. That may be good cause. Another reason it may be good cause to leave an employment is if there is an unreasonable risk of serious harm and death. Obviously, if you are working in an industry like in a meat packing plant or a rest home where there is an outbreak of COVID-19 and there are not precautions taken and testing is not being done to the extent that there is an unreasonable risk that you will contract the COVID-19 virus, that may be good cause to leave. Also, when you're on unemployment, you're required to try to find employment. Now, can you lose your unemployment benefits if you refuse to go to work for a meat packing plant that has an unreasonably high number of COVID-19 cases and an unreasonably low testing procedures and an unreasonably low effort on the employer part to keep the employment environment safe? Would that be a good not to accept that job, I would submit that it would be. And when you hear these governors and when you hear other executives go on the airways and say, you will not get your benefits if you don't take that job, and they try to do that through an executive order, that isn't how our laws work. Yes, there are some things that can be done through executive orders, but executive orders do not change the law. So if you're in a situation where you think that you have good cause to leave employment, or you have good cause not to accept certain types of employment and still keep your unemployment benefits, talk to an attorney and discuss whether or not there's a good chance you will be able to establish good cause and either maintain your unemployment benefits or keep your unemployment benefits. Thank you.